Very warm greetings to the learners. This is Dr. Meenakshi. As you very well remember from the last video, we have started learning how to prepare control chart for attributes, and in that journey we have started learning how to prepare a control chart, that is the P chart, right? In that P chart we try to explore how we can make use of two different approaches for constructing that P chart. In the two approaches used for constructing the variable control limits for the P chart, the first approach was the control limit of the P chart were calculated for each sample, and in the second approach the control limits are calculated using the average sample size, and we got constant control limits just as we used to get in case of constant sample size. Now if you remember from this problem which we have taken in the last video, in which we were trying to explore and understand a problem in which the production of a laptop of a laptop company, and the output was given, and we were trying to find out the number of defects that were found in the laptops, and we were trying to draw the appropriate control chart and comment on the state of the process that was happening in the manufacturing process. So you remember in that problem we understood that there were one or more points that lie outside the upper control limit or the lower control limit, and the control chart indicated that the process is not under statistical control. So there could be some assignable causes because of which the process was not in statistical control, and to bring the statistical control for the process, it was very important to investigate the assignable causes and take the corrective action to eliminate them. Now once this is done, we remove out of control samples and calculate the revised central line, the upper control limit and the lower control limits for the P chart using the remaining samples, and these limits which we are going to revise, these are known as the revised control limit. If you remember from this data, what we have been given that number of laptops inspected was given by small n, and number of defective laptops we have taken it for small d, and because of these two values we were able to find out the proportion of defectives, that is P equal to d upon n. That means the proportion of defectives is the ratio of number of defective laptops to the number of laptops inspected. Now after finding out this, we next move to find out the central line, and to find out the central line, that is the average value of the proportion of defectives. So what we have to do, we have to find out the average value of the defectives, which we did found, and based on that we were able to find out the value of your central line. And after finding out the value of central line, we calculated the upper control limit, which was done with the help of the formula that you remember is your central line, that is the P bar plus 3 times square root of P bar into 1 minus P bar divided by your n, that is the number of laptops inspected. Now as you remember, we talked about two approaches. In the first approach we used different variables that has been given here in the number of laptops. Your n value is varying, and the second approach we take an average of all the n values and we find the value of n bar, because of which we were able to find out the upper control and the lower control limit. So from this on your screen also you can see there is a difference between the values of upper control limit and the lower control limits. The difference lies only on the formula implication, where we used individual n values or the cumulative n bar values, right? And this is the difference that we can see with the help of a line graph that we have done in the previous video. This was for the variable size of the sample, and this was when we took the average of the samples, right? Now because of these two approaches, you can see there is a difference in the variability of the lower and the upper control limits, which we have seen here also. But what is uniform here, that there are certain points which are out of control or outside the upper control or the lower control limits. That means there are some discarded sample points available. So what are those points? Here you can see the point 6, the point 8 and the point 18. These are the 3 points which are considered as small d, which we call as the discarded sample points. So we can write down here small d which is equal to 3, because we have 3 points which are actually the discarded one. If you remember, first one was the 6, so I'll highlight 6, then we had 8, and the last one we had 18. So these are the 3 points. So first step is to highlight the 3 points to indicate who basically are the points which are out of the sample control process. So after doing that, what we are going to do, we are first going to calculate the value of your p bar new. That is, we have to find out the new value for the p bar or your central line. So first thing what we have to find out, we have to find out p bar new. And how we can calculate the p bar new value? It is basically the ratio of difference between the sum of all the fraction defective p values minus out of proportion values divided by k minus d. Okay, so for that purpose what we'll do here, so first of all what we'll do, we will take the total of the number of defective laptops, that is d total. So what is that? That has already been calculated here, I suppose, or if not, we can do that. Yes, so selecting all these values, and then okay, before doing that you have to be very careful with the Excel operations, because it just follows the instruction what you give. Okay, so we'll take an auto sum. Fine, and this value of p bar new will be equal to your total number of defective laptops, that is d total or C23 value, 22 value here. We just put a bracket here, minus the sum of all the values which come in the discarded sample. Because we have 3 values, so we'll be doing the sum. Bracket close, divided by now the total number of laptops inspected. The total number of laptops inspected here is this one value minus again the sum of the discarded sample. So this gives you the value of p bar new. Okay, so for p bar new value, to make it uniform for the rest of the sample, what we need to do, put a $sign here, and here. Okay, so this way we found the value of p bar new. Now after finding out the value of p bar new, we have to calculate the revised control limit values also, that is the UCL new. To insert row here, and LCL new. Okay, now for finding out the UCL new, formula will remain same, only what will happen, the formula for p bar new will be inserted. Instead of p bar new in the previous function of UCL, here we use the formula for p bar, and now because we are using the revised limits, we will be using here p bar new. So what we are going to do, we are going to write down the formula. P bar new value is this, plus 3 times square root of again p bar into 1 minus p bar. Okay, divided by n bar value which we have here. So this is the value of UCL new with us. And to make it uniform for the rest of the sample, very quickly we are going to insert a dollar sign. And hence we get the value of UCL new. Now we have to find out the value of LCL new, that is the lower control limit new value. Again using the formula P bar new minus 3 times square root of P bar into 1 minus P bar divided by your n bar value, right? So this is your LCL new value. Now again what we are going to do here, just for some distinction I'll put another row. We are going to insert a dollar sign so that the rest of the values will be uniform for rest of the sample. And now just very quickly selecting the 3 and dragging the cursor down, we will get value for the rest of the sample. So here we have finally calculated the revised control limits. So if I'll just insert one row here, a column here, I'll just write here revised control limits. Okay, so you can see from this what is the difference between the values. Okay, as you can see there is a lot of data on this particular sheet. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select the values for which I'm going to prepare. I have to prepare basically the line graph, the values we need to do that. Suppose these 3 values will suffice, right? So what we are going to do, selecting these 3 values, I'm just copy. I'll just copy it. Something went wrong. Okay, we'll try it again. Alright, just copy. I'll go to a new sheet, taking the 3 values which we had. Why I'm doing this, I'll show you. Just deleting the highlighted values. Here, the third one also. Again, picking up these 3 and going to insert, finding the line graph here. So removing the grid lines to make it more clear. Okay, now you can see from this line graph that what happened here exactly. We were able to revise this P chart, and for doing that what we had done, we have identified the discarded sample points and we were able to rectify the errors because of which it was present. And you can see now there is no single point either crossing the upper control limit or the lower control limit as it was doing in the previous sheet. I'll just show it again to you. This sheet here, we had certain points. We had 3 points, 3 discarded sample points, 0.6, 0.8 and 0.18. And now after doing this process of revising the P chart, we were able to remove those 3 points. Okay, if you go back and see in the previous videos, you will be able to connect how we do that. So basically now with the help of this process, we were able to do what we were able to do. We were able to remove the discarded points. There is no point which lies outside the control limits. So we may conclude here that the process is under statistical control with respect to the fraction defectives. I hope the video has been clear to you. Do subscribe the channel, and if you have any queries, please feel free to comment, and have a good learning time.